Hi guys, I'd like to talk to you about the Wikileaks conspiracy. Is there a conspiracy against Wikileaks and Julian Assange? Or is Wikileaks and Julian Assange the conspiracy? Under attack, pressure mounts on Wikileaks founder Assange. It says here it's the US government that's trying to shut down Wikileaks. US authorities chased Wikileaks from an American commercial computer network and temporarily stopped the leak of embarrassing diplomatic documents, apparently aided by freelance computer hackers. But within hours, the website was back up. So it was the Americans who were trying to shut down Wikileaks, okay. But they also mentioned these rape charges that apparently, Julian Assange is still being hunted on rape charges. And because of that, he's operating from a fortified bunker in Sweden. Kind of like Osama bin Laden in his little cave. Okay, well, he's not actually in Sweden in the fortified bunker. He's apparently still in the UK, but he had to move servers because, according to this, the government kind of got on Amazon's back, and Amazon, who's the server, cut them off. And so they're not actually in Sweden, but they've moved to a server which is in an underground fortified bunker. There's a lot more to this whole rape charge thing. It's actually a post-facto dispute over consensual but unprotected sex. Hereward Fenton from Truth News Radio Australia had, done a lot of research into this. And what he uncovered was that basically Assange had been seeing one woman, and then he had a fling with another, and then the two of them got together and as a kind of revenge decided to press some kind of charges against Julian Assange. It was about a refusal to use a condom in one case and a broken condom in another. The charge ended up being molestation, and molestation having to do with putting somebody in harm's way. But that didn't stop the media from using the word rape charges. If the CIA wants to, mount a smear campaign against somebody, well, what they can do is, let's say they sent an agent there, the one he had the fling with, to get this whole thing started, and then put these trumped up charges, and it's basically a massive character assassination. They send out a lot of press releases about a rape charge, and then they send out one that says, well, actually, no, it wasn't a rape charge. It was for something else, which clears them from any kind of liability. But meanwhile, the media just keeps talking about the rape charges, and molestation, which makes it sound like it was some kind of pedophilia involved, which it actually wasn't. So maybe the conspiracy really is against Julian Assange. So it says here that he has to appear before a magistrate in Stockholm to answer accusations of rape and sexual harassment. All right, the article goes on to say the charges were brought by two Swedish women in August after what both described as consensual sexual encounters in Sweden that escalated into something unwanted and illegal. A broken condom? Well, I could see how that would be unwanted, but illegal? Oh, right, because he refused to get STD testing. That was the other aspect of it. That the condom broke, and in the other case he didn't want to use the condom, and they wanted him to get STD testing, and he refused. But as you can see, there's some kind of smear campaign going on here. Okay, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange fears he's a marked man. The Pentagon press secretary Jeff Morrell said before the material, the leak cables, was made public, we deplore WikiLeaks for inducing individuals to break the law. Well, wait a minute, all this stuff, they're leaking information showing that the government and the military are breaking the law. Leak classified documents and then cavalierly share that secret information with the world, including our enemies. So maybe he's a marked man just for blowing their cover, I don't know. Although when asked whether the WikiLeaks revelations could be of use to Osama bin Laden, Assange told the Israeli broadcaster that he was not privy to the thoughts of the Al-Qaeda chief. He said, I do not have access to Osama bin Laden's thoughts. Many people want the truth out insofar as Al-Qaeda wants the truth out. They're correct. And some people take this to mean that Assange is part of a psyop or something because he's not admitting that Osama bin Laden's dead and that there's no such thing as Al-Qaeda, or that Al-Qaeda is the CIA. And plus, 9/11 blogger says, Wikileaks founder Julian Assange is annoyed by 9/11 truth. Okay, when they asked him, what about 9/11? He said, I'm constantly annoyed that people are distracted by false conspiracies such as 9/11. When all around we provide evidence of real conspiracies for war or mass financial fraud. He doesn't think 9/11 was an inside job? Well then, whose side is he really on? And Fars news agency says former Pakistani general says the CIA Mossad behind WikiLeaks reports. A former Pakistani army commander said that the disclosure of classified documents by the whistleblower site of WikiLeaks is a US plot to create rift among friendly and neighboring states. Well, that's possible too. You know, there's an awful lot of attention being given to this in the media. And usually when there's a black op going on or psyop or whatever, there's a lot of attention in the media. And it's done to like scramble our minds. You know, remember the Quran burning pastor and the mosque on Ground Zero and all that kind of stuff. So just the fact that it's getting so much media attention kind of makes me think that there is some kind of a psyop going on here, and I guess we'd have to wait and see what happens with the so-called rape charges, because that could be just kind of to throw us off the trail, to make us think that, you know, Julian Assange is the hero and he's being persecuted. Because, well, look, they've got these trumped up charges against him, this character assassination, but we'd have to wait and see what actually happens with that. On my channel, the YouTube user Lover of the Band Boston pointed out WikiLeaks should release all the documents about a pedophilia ring that was uncovered involving the White House and Congress. And he says, check out the YouTube video called White House Sex Scandal Pedophiles, the Franklin Cover-Up, Johnny Gosh. Which got me thinking, well, it's true. You know, it's always like military documents and stuff like that. I don't think it ever leads to any kind of charges being pressed. Yeah, how come they don't leak documents about, you know, the CIA importing drugs or about pedophilia at high levels of government or the church? It's always the military. I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence. Or maybe it's a psyop. And YouTube user My Rooster Lounge says on my channel, Obama said he wanted a more transparent government. Why are they so upset? Answer, they're not upset. They wanted that information out there. He says he hasn't figured out why yet. But, you know, he could be right, because maybe they want that information out there to scare the crap out of you, to show you just what a tyrannical, monstrous octopus the government is, to make you feel like you have no power. I mean, look at all this crazy, corrupt stuff that they're doing. Maybe they do want you to know that, just to freak you out. As I always say, fear is their greatest weapon. They like to have us all whipped up in a tizzy, worried about what they're going to do next, and who's the psyop, what's the CIA doing, you know. But that's actually a big weapon that they have against us. All right, in any case, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I have some questions. That's about it. But I'd love to hear your comments. Don't think I don't read your comments, because I do. And that's actually one of the things I like the most about posting the vlogs. I put up my rant, my 2 cents, you know, and then I get so much more information and input from you guys. So I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. And well, thanks for listening to me rant, and I'll see you next time.